Hello, hello. Hey, Sinistello. So today command Adam is going to... Wait, what am I doing? Let's look into what I'm doing. I think we're going to start converting some strings and gutting the source generators. Yeah. Adam's going to get the Skeleseller code base ready for localization by using a translate function for each string in the code base. This is definitely grunt work. He'll see if AI can help speed it up somehow. Okay. You're my only hope from getting out of meetings. I don't know how I have that power. You should just share your video, but it's just me the whole time. And then you type into my chat what I should be saying to them. I think it'll work out great. Okay, so I want to check in what we've got so far. I've got some examples of how I'm doing this translation. Is any of this bad? I mean, we have this Spanish file. I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to keep this how it is. This doesn't need to be there. Doesn't this not exist anymore? I never reran the generation of this. Do I have the function somewhere now? Hello? Hello? Here it is. Your hair grew back. That's a nice hairline. Your voice sounds different. What's that Skeleseller hoodie that you've always been saying you wanted? Did you finally buy it? And so on. Well, I mean, we could check this stuff in. Oh, this is going to be so very tedious. So overwhelmingly tedious. Whoa, 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 whoa. What just happened there? That deleted more than I wanted to. What did happen there? This shouldn't be there. I should make sure this still builds. Yeah, let's do that. Wow, Xyletics, you stopped making Star Wars references for 2 seconds. Is something wrong? No, this is just me. Just working at company name on important company stuff. Okay, yeah, I think everything's okay here. All right, so I want to check this in as like lay foundation for translating stuff. By the way, do we even want context here? What happens if I had this in 2 separate files? Well, let's say in the title screen, I go and change a button somewhere. Yeah, so what if we say story mode button dot text equals translate. Actually, shouldn't I just be able to use TR? Translate wild shot abilities. I think this will work. Just say Azure a few times, you'll convince them, I'm sure. Did you see the color of the sky outside today? It was a rich azure. Yeah, it says wild shot. But if I change it to Spanish, it's going to say Spanish shot when I reload. Yeah, nice. All right, so now what happens if we try running this? Does it know it's the same string in 2 different places? It does. All right. So we are setting precedents right now, and I don't think we need to be too careful about this. I just want to make sure this worked the way I expected, and it does. So should we put context for these things? Like we could put context like ability to description. By the way, can this be, this probably doesn't work. I'm guessing it doesn't work. String X equals testeroni X. I doubt it knows how to extract that. There's got to be like a 0% chance of that, right? Yeah. Does it fail though? it still has the same. Oh, no, that's a different string. Yeah, it doesn't work. All right, so it has to be a hard-coded string. And yeah, ability description would work. We should see that show up here. Yeah, ability description. Also, this should be able to just have spaces or anything else in it. I guess it doesn't matter. I put 2 spaces. I'm going to probably delete it. Yep. All right, so do we want to use context? In some cases, we'll have to. So anything that has multiple meanings, like, yeah, maybe we have a boulder obstacle and a boulder spell. And so we say that this one is the abilities and this is the obstacles or something. We don't have this in the game, but if we did, we would have to do that. But otherwise, this could help translators. I don't think we should add it until we know that we need it. Yeah. All right. And I should probably make some notes here about this stuff. Again, Max, bit of a random question. Notice you seem to prefer writing out the type names for variables instead of using var. Any particular reason for that? It's a pretty small reason, which is the only way that var tells you everything it needs to is if you're in a development environment and can see what this thing returns. So for example, this is var, right? And you're like, oh, it's get base damage. In this case, you realize it's a number type, but you might not know what kind of number. And if you look at get base damage, you'll realize that it returns, which this is actually kind of proving my point here. Every once in a while, you can't navigate to a definition. You're either on GitHub or you're just looking at text or you're in an environment where you cloned a repo, but you haven't actually like set up the build tools. So yeah, here we see that it's a float, but we'd only know that by going to the function. The compiler can know it. But yeah, unless you have that type tip, then I like having it all typed out. Going full steam into community translations? Yeah. I think so. In fact, it almost makes me wonder if there's any point doing machine translations at all. There probably is. Especially if it doesn't take too much time. All right, encode. Note, we do not provide context by default to translate calls. I'm not going to write this down. I just won't do it. All right, what else do we have here? So this shouldn't be there at all. Good. Sure, whatever. Have inlay hint turn on, so Rust Analyzer will show the types of everything, but that doesn't help in the GitHub case. Yeah, and I do find var easier to write out and just then have the auto fix thing set the type for me. But yeah, I feel a little uneasy just leaving them in the code everywhere. If you're always working in an editor, then it makes sense. You would just use var. All right, so what are we doing here? This part's fine, and this part's fine. Yeah, okay, so set up some foundation for localization. These changes would get us away from using source generators, which I'm probably going to start removing from the code base soon. Hey, Dozy. All right, yeah, there we go. Okie dokie, where does that put us? Do we want wrapper functions? So yeah, I don't think we're going to do this. Actually, it wouldn't even be that obnoxious to change it in the future, would it? We have, yeah, actually we have every single line number for a string due to the xget text. Well, due to xget text producing them. It wouldn't be that bad to change. Yeah, the question here is this. We have a function, translate. This is a Godot function. So if you look at this, it says, actually it doesn't say Godot in here at all. But anyway, it's Godot stuff. Yeah, there's Godot, namespace Godot. So we have a translate function from Godot. but there are actually 4 translate functions. There's translate plural, and then there's tr and trn, which are the same things, but they're accessible through Godot objects. So we have these 4 functions. If we want to wrap them, we could make a single function, well, 2 functions. We could make like, my translate and my translate plural. And then if we ever wanted to add anything into the translation or metadata or something like that, then we could. But I don't think there's a need to do this. Hey, Quirp. I haven't watched or seen you since the Botland days. Seems like you're working on a really fun project. Yeah, welcome back. Actually, I guess your last message was about a year ago. But yeah, I know you probably haven't been watching consistently, at least since the Botland days. Oh, you've been here a few times in 2024. Actually, like 6 or 7. But yeah, welcome back. Yeah, so this question of a wrapper function, I think the answer is we shouldn't use it. Yeah. I'm not going to use it since we have no need now. Okay, fine. So this is done. Write wrapper functions. We're not going to do this. Motoboat with the monthly gifted subs. Thank you for gifting more subs monthly. And I'm glad one of them ended up on ABC. They've been helping out a lot. And I recognize their name in chat, and J-Rock. The other 3 I don't recognize, but welcome nonetheless. Don't recall that, but to be honest, I trust that history more than my own memory. Yeah, I mean, it's just your chat history. But that's totally fine. And I guess even if it was 2024, that's at least a year ago. I might have been confused as I was talking originally and said it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, it was like 15 months. So yeah, last time you were here, Skeleseller was about 4 months old, and it has changed quite a lot in that time. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. The trailer is a little bit out of date, but the pictures have the newest interface, I think. Yeah, they do. So it's looking a lot better there. All right, write down that the function names are important. Translate plural. Reasons our xget text generator relies on those names. Yeah. GCScript has built-in mechanisms to format strings with name placeholders. Pretty mean when combined. C# does not have something like this. We've implemented it ourselves. Yeah, I guess I'll write another important thing here, which is the function names translate plural, tr and trn are very important. They're what Godot exposes for translation, but it also means we need to instruct xgetText to find those names, which we do via the arguments to xgetText. Search for -- keyword equals. Yeah. So if we search for that, we only find these. Yeah. Okay. So that's done. Looks great. Thank you. Yeah. It's been interesting to work on. One of the things I think it's really hard to do this in any realm is to not compare yourself to other people. Whether you're starting out with a sport, whether you're coding, whether you're, I don't know, even just trying to do something for fun. It's like playing an RPG. Are you the best of the RPG? And I find that I'm comparing myself in a lot of ways to other people's development speed. Like, how is it that these games like Peak are getting developed as quickly as they are? Am I doing something wrong? Am I just supposed to be, I don't know, working in a team of full-time people or something? But it doesn't really matter in the end. It's like, unless I can set up that exact same environment, or I'm making the same game, or I had the same ideas, then I'm going to be doing my own thing anyway. How many languages are you looking to localize to? I think about 8. I've got them written down somewhere here. Where is it? I guess it's easier to search for Italian here. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. So I think we're going to start with 8 in addition to English. So I'll have 9 total languages. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Add note about function names for translation. Okay, so what's next? Command that finds all files. Yeah, I don't think we need that. See if AI can extract the string, so I don't need to do it everywhere. So I think what we're gonna do is start gutting the source generators. And I feel bad about this. Kevin spent a decent amount of time working on these and they met our needs, and now I'm saying we don't need them anymore. And oh wait, what happened to, I was gonna say I don't have my YouTube chat open. Not that anyone ever talks on YouTube anyway, but sorry, give me one sec. Okay, there we go. It's also important to realize that dev speed isn't really everything. You need to consider more things than pure dev performance. If you wouldn't thrive in that environment, then you'd quit and you'd end up having gotten nowhere. Yeah, that's true. And I think there are times when comparing yourself to somebody else can help. Like, let's say you truly are, whatever, 3 standard deviations below the norm for something. You'd probably want to know that. So you'd be like, oh, I'm just doing this really, really inefficiently. But yeah, and other times when everything's kind of mostly fine or you're happy, I don't think the comparisons are all that great. Either way, I'm not like super bummed about it. I just wonder, game dev is something I'd still like to do for at least probably like 10 more years. And what that probably means is somewhere between 2 to maybe like 8 games in that time. And that means that I don't want to be making the same mistakes or anything. I want to be learning from what I'm doing. Yeah. Whoops. All right. So I think we're at that point where we got, wait a second, string.format is used in some other place too, right? And yet this doesn't know about translate plural, tr, and trn. So we got to go make string format analyzer know about that stuff. String format analyzer. Oh, right. We also need to mention it in this. Humans don't learn from our mistakes. Some humans do. So I learned now is that I'm contributing to you developing slower because you're talking to us. So unless the peak devs are also streaming, it's unfair to do that type of comparison. No, I get it. I get it. I wasn't saying this is like I'm depressed about it or something. It's just a thought that I've been having. Yeah. I'm not super bummed or anything. Okay, so that important thing that I wrote, trn, we also specify these same names in string format analyzer to ensure that we have the correct number of parameters when formatting strings. Okie dokie. So where do we find that? Here. And now we should find the word translate. Yeah. So if we want to just get a hash set of these, I guess. Where do we put this? Private static read-only hash set string translate method names. Oh, that was easy. I love it when the AI just fills something in for me that I was gonna type and it just knew that I wanted to type it. Now, what's the problem here? Only available in C# 7.3. Set the language version higher. All right, CS proj. Let's go into this and set this to whatever we set the source generator CS proj to be. Or maybe just what we set game.cs proj to be. What is this one set to? Where's C#? There it is. No, that's not it. What? Shouldn't C# be in here? What? Okay, well, I'm probably just going to copy these over. Hey, Soli. Good to see you back. Yeah, back from vacation. Feeling pretty good. All right, private assets. I don't know about that. But let's delete these now. And now we should be able to use this style of writing the code and then change this to if this contains, there, good, perfect. Okay, now what's the problem? We gotta build this again. Did it work? I don't know what's going on. I never know what to reload exactly when I make those changes. And these are all yellow now. Enable analyzer release tracking for the analyzer project containing rule. What? Analyzer release tracking? 404, page not found. That doesn't seem good. RS 2008. C#. How to fix. A team of 8? Oh, I didn't realize. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you both on this stuff. Yeah. And this is part of the reason I'm streaming. I mean, I wouldn't have found out about this web late thing unless I'd been streaming. And if I had found out about it, I might not have pursued it. I eventually pursued it because enough people mentioned it, and I was like, oh, this is probably a good idea. And looking back, I am pretty sure I'm going to say that this was the right idea to go forward with. But I mean, we won't know for sure until I actually get some translations done. Oh, so yeah, how do you fix this? Got the answer by adding additional files in the project files. What? Okay, this is nuts. I don't want to deal with any of this stuff, I think. Diagnostic message should not contain any line return character or any leading or trailing white space. It should either be a single sentence without a trailing period or multi-sentence with a trailing period. What? Message format? The translated string requires this. So I just don't put a period on it and it's fine. Is it happy now? Yeah, it's happy now. What about this? Description should be one or multiple sentences ending with a punctuation sign and should not have any leading or trailing white space. Should be one or more. Okay, where does that come from? Description is the analyzer description, which is there. An optional. Oh, this has to be a period. Okay, so that should go away now too. Yep, good. Now diagnostic ID. Enable analyzer release tracking. Containing rule string analyzer, string format analyzer. I mean, I guess we have to do this. You can just suppress this. I mean, I might just suppress this. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Well, unless it's easy to fix. We would just put this here. The problem is I don't have these files. Did that fix the error though? Is this going to go away? It did not seem to fix it. Oh, rule is not part of any analyzer release. Now is that still RS2000? No, it's different. RS2000 C#. How do we fix this? Does this have a 404? Yeah. Come on. This doesn't even exist. What's the thing that's supposed to exist? Help.md? Okay, let's just search for that. Help.md. Oh, there's no, this is like empty. Archive has moved into .NET SDK. Help.md. Okay, not sure about that, but there's this repository as well. All right, so it's one of those, maybe this one. RS2000. Oh my God, this is such a mess. Where do we find the help information? I don't know. This one maybe? Documentation. But this is the incorrect link, right? Can I click this? Oh, it works. Well. Okay, so release tracking analyzer. Release tracking analyzer enables third-party analyzer packages to define analyzer releases with associated versions. Each release can track the following changes: additions, removals, changes. Analyzer expects that the third-party analyzer project has 2 additional files. Oh, good. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this at all. I'm definitely skipping this. This is a waste of my time. So we're gonna just suppress this. Note for release tracking, we would need to document which analyzers ship in which versions. Is that going to complain at me? No, it's not. All right, so now what about this? This says use language version 12 or greater. Source generator project had 4.10. Lang version is 12. Did I just need to change the language version? Language version isn't even specified. That's supposed to be in target framework, so under here. So whatever I did to this doesn't actually do anything? Yeah, whatever. New expression can be changed. Cool. Collection can be simplified. What with just... Oh, interesting. Any other things? Use pattern matching. You can use is not. Neat. Wow, the auto fixing got super fast. Anything else? A project containing analyzers should specify the property enforce extended analyzer rules. What's that about? Is this just super easy to do? Yeah, it is super easy to do. Nullable enable. Analyzer language CS. Net standard. What's that other one? Is packable. I don't know what this even means. But I'm just going to set it. Yeah, whoops. No, wait. No. I don't want to do that way. All right, great. So how's this looking now? Pretty good. Cool. So let's try running. Yay. Did I ever put the GitHub link? I did. In my licenses file. Yep, it's right there. Okay, so we have another string dot format somewhere. Where are you? Right there. So this has 2, blah, blah, blah. So if I set this to 3, it should error. Please error. This isn't good. This is definitely not good. That means I messed something up. Translate plural. This is not good. Oh, there are different argument amounts. Oh God, I gotta change this. Get argument to translate should be a constant string. Yeah, that's for that one. But translate plural needs a different amount. And then we check the argument, and then we, oh man, oh darn it. This is not gonna have to change all of it. Okay, how do we do this? How do we fix everything? So I need to check for the singular ones and for the plural ones. And the plural ones have the same arguments as the singular ones. Or sorry, the plural ones have the same arguments as each other. So then what? Get argument should be a constant string. So the ones for the plural, let's just close every other tab we have. We have 2 and they should have the same number. What are we doing here? Placeholder indices. So indices on max plus 1. Provided args is arguments.count minus 1. Exclude the format string itself. Yeah, so I should have a function that tells me whether this matches. All right. All right. So let's start with this. So this is singular translate method names, and that's translate and tr. And then the plural is going to be translate plural and trn. So if this and that, actually, you know what? How about this? Let's say like is singular and is plural, and if not is singular and plural, then return. So now if it's singular, we got to do something certain. And if it's plural, we got to do something else. So let's put all of this stuff over here for now. And then else we'll do we need first arg expression. Argument list dot arguments dot count is not equal to 1. First arg expression. Argument list. Got it. Okay. Translate or tr call just has a single constant string, e.g. tr hello. So for us, a translate plural or trn call has 3 things. Three parameters. This needs to be 0 point, yeah, something like that. Singular string, plural string, and count. Cool. So if it's not equal to 3, then we have a problem. But if we have a problem because then this function isn't even callable. Why are we checking this at all then? Oh, because it might be a different kind of translate call? But it's only when we're doing this in string format, so this shouldn't ever be a problem. Actually, if there aren't 3, shouldn't we just raise an error? And say there's a problem with our checker? Probably. We would need another rule, though. I'm not going to bother with that for right now. All right, well, anyway, after this, we need to get the singular string and the plural string out of this. So this is translate arg. Optional object const value. If it doesn't have a value or it's not a string, then return. So we must have 2 constant strings. So we want something like singular or first, I don't know, first arg. What do we call it up here? Translate arg. First value. Wait a second. I'll just say first const value. Okay, then there's the second one. For the second arg. So this is first format string and second format string. I'm going to refactor this in a second. So now extract placeholders. What we want to do is get how many are expected. So that should just be another function in here. Yeah. Private static int get num expected formatters. I don't know. Also had to check that they contain the same sets of 0 and 1. Maybe. I'm not totally sure what usage is going to lead to. So string format string, and then we want everything that's in here. It's probably exactly the same code. And then this here too. And then we return this. And then we call this from up here. It's going to be the format string. Okay. So first, or like singular string expected formatters and the plural string. So one, these need to match. Wait, do they need to match? Maybe they don't need to match. Whichever one's higher, though, that's how many arguments we expect for how many was provided. Exclude the 3 expected arguments. Singular, plural count. All right, and then if they're not equal, then omit the rule. So expected arguments, we need expected args equals math.max. Cool. Okay, that's it. That should be our code. I'm going to refactor it in a sec, but let's see if it works. So if I change this to a 3 and rebuild, it should highlight this line red. Is it going to do it? Ah, nice. Translated string requires 4 parameters, but you only have 1. What? Only have 1. 2, 3, what? Because of this? Oh, this is wrong. This is exclude the call to translate plural. All right, so now it should be correct. Oh, I got to rebuild again. So it should just change this to say 3 at the end. It still says the same. Oh, maybe I need to type something. Ah, perfect. Yeah, so it says we only have 3. So now if I change this to be a 4th thing and I just type the number 4, it should be fine. Good. Or if I change this, it's going to be red again. If I change this to be 2, it should be fine. Perfect. Nice. So now we can refactor this. Only check one specific thing so you don't get multiple errors. That's why there are returns if something's not matching. Idea is that another analyzer catches another error. Yeah. Yeah. I think in this case, we're just going to do what's written here to make the code look a little bit cleaner. Because otherwise this is going to be, it's just going to take me longer to code. Exclude the call to translate star. And expected args is here. And put this at the bottom. Delete this, delete this, and this. Okay. So can we do anything else here? We need to get a particular argument as a string. So private static string question mark, I guess. Get, I guess it is kind of get literal string. Had you used C# before? Yeah, I had. And I'm liking it with Godot. I think it's pretty good. It would be kind of nice if web exporting worked, but it's on their radar. They're going to get it to work at some point. All right, so how does this work? We get, what is context? Syntax node analysis context. I kind of want to pass that in. And then what, semantic model? All right, arg syntax. Is that what this thing is? First argument. Sure. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now let's try getting that. So this is going to be string question mark first format string. And I guess if it's null, return. Why is this a problem? Let me use encode with a nullable annotation context. Is this because of the CS project file? No. What am I missing? What am I missing? Is string question mark just not a thing? No, it's definitely a thing. I don't know what I'm missing. Resolve nullable warnings. All right, what is it? 8632. Oh, we do need nullable enable. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. Huh. Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that was a thing. I looked in the project thing. I guess it wasn't there. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so now we can use that, yeah. And now what's the problem with this? Nullability of reference types in value of type optional object doesn't match. What? Get constant value returns an object question mark. Ah. Because we have nullable types now, huh? Hey, Filler. I've been doing well. How's your engine been going? You were working on the demo game, right? Which means we need the same thing over here. Well, actually, I'm going to do this a little bit differently, I guess. I'm going to put string, second formatting string, and return that. This is only making the code slightly better. This is string, format string. Yep, same thing. We got rid of like one line there. Can this look into your generated code? We're getting rid of the generated code. But I don't know the answer to your question if I were keeping the generated code. I don't know if it could or not. All right, so we should probably take a look at this and make sure this is still working. Let's rebuild this. Again, the only thing this analyzer is supposed to do is tell me when the number of parameters here doesn't match the number of parameters here. So here we have a 3, which means we're expecting 4 parameters, but we've only provided 3 of them. So this produces an error saying it requires 4, but you only have 3. And we set this back to this and it works. Same thing should happen over here when we call translate. If we had the number 2, hi Katso. Yeah, it says the same thing. Come on, want to sit down? Good cat. Come on. Come on, sit your butt down. Come on, Abby. It's been going well. Been talking to the team. We believe we'll have a playable demo starting on Monday. Oh, nice. Yeah. Now I need to make farming itself fun. Just copy Stardew Valley. So this will only work for English then in theory? You need to review each translation to make sure the same parameter count. No, all we're doing here is checking that the maximum number of parameters here, that number you specify is at least, sorry, I'm saying this in the worst possible way. We're making sure you're specifying at least as many as the maximum number of parameters expected. So in another language, let's say, and I don't know how you would have this happen, but let's say you had something like dealt this fire damage and this lightning damage or something like that. So because we have the number 1 as the highest number here, it means we expect 2 parameters to follow. The Spanish for this could somehow just omit these completely and it wouldn't be a problem. But what Spanish can't do is say dealt this much fire, this much lightning, and this much ice damage, because that's going to require another parameter to be at the end. Which, I mean, this just wouldn't work at all. Oh, maybe that's what you're saying. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. It would cause a runtime error. Yeah. I'm not going to do any more. Why don't you bite me, cat? I'm not going to do more validation than this on English, because yeah, there are some other things we could potentially do. I want to see what problems arise from this. We need to validate that our translated strings don't use more formatting parameters than the English ones. If an English string uses 0 and 1, then the Spanish string can't try accessing 2. Nothing we have will check this for now. Oh, you know what though? Weblate might be able to check that. Because there's something called checks here. So you must be able to add a check somehow, right? How does that work? Weblate checks? Checks and fix-ups. Quality checks help catch common translator errors, ensuring it's in good shape. Oh, maybe it's just by default it works that way. Let's take a look. So what if we had... Oh, I can't change the English string. So I guess it wouldn't really do anything. That's the idea. Give them a shirt for their character. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I think those sorts of marketing ideas are fun to think about and to work on. And players generally like them too. In addition to quality checks, can we make our own quality checks? Oh, wow, look at that. BB code markup. BB code in translation does not match source. Consecutive duplicated words does not follow glossary. Double space, fluent parts. Is one of these for C# placeholders? Because that would sure be nice. Oh, there is a C# format. Wow, I think this is what we want. How do we verify this? This, I guess, is how we'd verify this. So what if I say a 2 in here and I hit save and stay? Does it fail a check now? However, there's some failing checks. Wow, this is amazing. Following format strings are extra. This is fantastic. Okay, hadn't even thought of that. So this is already done. I don't need to do anything special. That is pretty neat. Okay, I want to take a picture of this. And put a rectangle around this. Actually, something I just noticed. Look at the borders of this. The bottom left is getting cut off for some reason. What a weird thing to have happen, right? Because it's working on all the other ones. I'm going to write that in my notes for this. Weblate has built-in checks for common mistakes. For example, if the source language's string represents a C# template string, the target language can't try using more parameters than the English one. What would have happened if we had... Oh, I can't test it now, I guess. But I was going to say, what would have happened if we'd done something like damage? Save and continue, save and stay. No, because this is not C#. So this is actually probably a better reason why we changed to these formatter things. Also, it knows that we have the... Like, it detected that these are... What's going on? Why doesn't Command Z work? Is there a way to revert? Maybe I do that. These are highlighted, but is there some way to, like, it turns into a link as well. Oh, interesting. That's cool. So when you're typing a thing, you could say something like shoots an enemy for, and then you could just click for damage. I guess that doesn't really help you because it doesn't really do anything. Yeah, there might be some overlapping thing there. How did that screenshot get reversed? What in the world? So Dark Reader inverts screenshots. And I have Dark Reader enabled on Google Docs, so it's not blinding. But I don't know if you've seen me talk about this before, but one of the most annoying things about Google Docs is that you can't right-click and copy an image out of Google Docs. We've copied it, so now if I were to paste, it pastes it in Google Docs. But if I go to, let's say, GIMP and try pasting, it says... there's no image data on the clipboard. So if I want to get this out of Google Docs, I need to copy as Markdown and go to a base 64 site and then paste it in and get rid of all the formatting characters. Okay, I should just do that. There we go. And then decode it, and that's how I get the image out of it. And there's our original image now. This is so painful. Yeah, it is super painful. I'm definitely frustrated by that. But okay, so this is good. So didn't I just write this down somewhere? This is done. Oh, yeah, here it is. Oh, okay. So now where are we at? So what does it say? It requires 3 parameters. Yeah. So we can set this back to 1. 107% Redis shell script or Python that literally takes the clipboard data, removes the markdown crop, then re-clipboards just the image data. Yeah, I wanted to do that, and I think I looked into it, and I just didn't get it working fast enough. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm checking this in. Yeah. Get string format analyzer working with plurals. Pluralized strings. I'll just say plurals. I also upgraded the project in the process. Now we can use nullable types and newer C# features. Sorry, I had to back away from the microphone. My volume probably got a little lower because the cat is now on me, bathing herself. Okay, cool. Yeah, looks like it works. Note, ideally, we would have made more analyzers, but I just threw everything into a single analyzer. It's a hot tub stream for the cat. How's it going, Toulouse? I don't want that one trying to copy links. I want the URL I asked for. Yeah. Yeah, I have something that lets me copy Twitch messages. So like if I copy your messages, it's got a timestamp at the beginning. And then I have this thing that says formatted Twitch chat. Don't forget to press Command V. And now it took out the timestamps. So I could presumably do that with an image. I haven't looked into it too much. I'm doing pretty well. I've been learning a lot in the last few days. And I think we're making some good progress here. I should probably publish this before I lose all my code. Learning what? We've been focusing on localization. And localization, in theory, is pretty easy. It's find strings to be translated and then translate them. And then use the translated strings appropriately. So this is obviously super straightforward, right? But how do you translate them if you only know English? And it's pretty much a question of machine versus human, or like single human versus community. And then finding them, we have a thing that was already fine, I guess. And then using them appropriately is already just Godot handles this for us. So yeah, a lot of the things we've been working on have been around how are we going to translate strings. But now what we're going to do, we had a whole thing of source generators in our code that allowed us to do something like this. We would make a class of different strings. And then this one, for example, it says hurls a fireball at a single enemy for damage. This is a placeholder. The way we would use this is it would generate a function for us called getDescription, and then we would pass in a parameter that actually was named exactly after the placeholder. So if you didn't pass in exactly this thing damage here, then this wouldn't work. We're going to change this now so that it's going to look more like this, where instead of calling translate and having a generated function, we just pass in the string and we pass in the parameters. If you want the bad Python code I quickly wrote to handle the URL defense one. Oh yeah, this isn't too bad. I think for image data, it's a little bit harder because I need to figure out what it expects to have. And then I wanted a way of calling it quickly. I guess you would call this from your command line and it wouldn't be too bad. But with an image, I would need to, I guess, paste all the image data into the command line or something, which I guess that's the whole point of getting it as base 64 in Markdown, but it's going to be a gigantic command. What does a pop-up in your editor do? That's a script from Hammerspoon that's just taking the timestamps out of my Twitch messages. So if you look at this, format Twitch chat, this is what it's doing. It's just taking the whole string and chopping off a piece of it. ChatGPT is excellent at translations. Yeah, I'm probably going to try some AI. Is your corn tented? What solution to use for that, if so? It's only tented slightly in the form of a case beneath it. But you can see it's like very thin down here and it's only slightly less thin up here. It's very, very slightly tented. Yeah, that pop-up was in VS Code. Or sorry, it was from Hammerspoon, just to be clear. This pop-up, this is not actually VS Code giving the pop-up. It's anywhere on my operating system. So in any single program, it'll show up. I guess same thing if I just press this. It's Hammerspoon producing that pop-up. Whoopsie. Yeah. So this is not coming from VS Code. Okay. No, when you hop to some code. Maybe you're talking about this. Oh yeah, this must be what you're talking about. This is just the command palette. I just moved it from the top of the screen to the middle of the screen. So yeah, you've almost certainly used this if you use VS Code. And I just moved it. You can just drag it wherever you want. You can right click the image and view more action. There's save to keep. Oh yeah. But then you need to delete it from your keep afterward. Huh, interesting filler. Yeah. Cat is damp. She's fully cleaned herself now. She's settling in for a nap. All right, so I think we're at the point where we remove all of our source generators. Oh, this is not gonna be easy. I guess if we just search for this, we'll find every file. There's 169 files. 13 squared files that we have to go through. Okay, so here's what we do. We start by changing one of them. And then we rage quit. No, then we ask the AI to just do all of it for us, I guess. I don't know. Oh, wait. Before we do that, we've got to make it so the display names are dynamic, right? Oh, God. Why is nothing easy? All right, maybe I should do that first then. Display names. Where did I write that down? Make sure display names are accessed dynamically. Yeah, I should do this next. Just gonna write old notes. All right, display name being accessed dynamically. Don't we do this with max level? Base ability has something for this. There it is, display name. And this pulls it from ability data, which is just some static thing passed in. That can't be the case anymore. How do we change this? Oh, you know what we could do? We could just make this virtual and then have each class override it. But then I guess we're doing a little bit more work. Because right now we're passing it in. No, it pretty much has to be virtual and we just override it, right? What am I? Oh, or we pass in a function that gets the display name. Okay, that would also work. Okay, let me write this down. So problem, if you change a language while playing, ability names don't change. So like Fireball I have no idea if this is how you'd say fireball in Spanish, but that's what it at least translates to in Google Translate. So these two things should be interchangeable when you swap the language of the game. But they don't work that way because we initialize an ability at startup. So anyway, I think there are pretty much two options. Option one is pass a function that returns the translated string. Initialization time that returns the translated string. And option two is have a virtual property returning the translated string. There might be another route here. Maybe it's like option three. Pass. No, well, yeah, I don't know. Like when the language changes, update whatever is stored to reflect the new language. How'd you even get docs in dark mode? I'm not finding it. Oh, it's Dark Reader that does that. Language picker before starting the game. I don't like that idea though, only because someone might like I've heard of people switching languages for existing apps like YouTube, for example. It's on some situation. And maybe here's what I could see happening. Maybe you start playing in, let's say, Italian, and the translations are like 90% accurate, or maybe let's say lower. Maybe they're like 70% accurate, and you're like, let me just switch to English. I know English. I just prefer to play in Italian. So now you switch, and now it's still showing you Italian fireballs and Italian lightning spells. Out of curiosity, what is the Italian word for fireball? Translate. Fireball. Oh. That's an English word. It doesn't really mean fireball, right? It means meteor. All right, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I'm trying to solve this problem. Okay, so what do I want to do? I don't like the idea of passing a function to return this thing. Here's what it would look like. It would be this. So this is method number one. Whoops. Method number two is public override string display name translate fireball. All right, what do I like better? To be honest, I think I like this idea a little bit better. Because that way all the initialization is in one place. But it doesn't make a gigantic difference, so I really shouldn't belabor this. The other thing that's kind of nice is by changing the definition of what an ability data is, it's going to automatically flag every single error that we have. Okay. So here's what I'm going to go try. We have base ability display name. I'm going to change this to be translate wild shot. So now every ability is going to show up as wild shot. And then, what am I looking for here? This. I gotta paste this in here and then run this. So what this is going to do is it's going to let me test what happens when I change language mid-run. And it should change from wild shot to Spanish shot. So I'm just going to hit continue. It should show as Spanish shot right now for all of these, right? It doesn't. That's weird. Did I mess up the translation file? I probably did. Yeah, it's got the wrong context. Oh, come on. So now it's going to be marked as fuzzy. Yep. Actually, both of these were marked as fuzzy. But now I think it should work. Fire an event when it changes, and at that point change. Yeah, that was option 4, I think. All right, so they all say Spanish shot, and now I go to the settings and changes back to English, and now it says wild child. Yeah. So this will obviously work, and I think we do that. Won't that be fun? All right, let's go change 1,000,000 files. In case it's not obvious, I do not find this idea fun. And I kind of wonder how long it's going to take. In fact, let's time it. Stopwatch. Okay. So the display name is going to be a function returning a string. Is that even how you do this? I always forget if it's an action that I want or no, yeah, it's a function that returns a string. Okay. So this is going to be get display name now, not display name. And then in base ability, we're going to return get display name. And hope that this doesn't work. Captured in the state of the enclosing type, its value is also initialized this. Oh, because that's supposed to be capitalized. Anywhere else we use the display name? Nope. Cool. All right, so now we press F5 and it's going to produce like 300 errors. 115. I was exaggerating a little bit. All right, so all of these just need to change to get display name, and we do translate accelerated regeneration, and then import our static thing here. Why is this not working? Cannot convert. Oh, whoops. Yeah, right. Of course. There we go. So we make this change another 114 times. And if I do it a couple of times, I think the AI should help me. In fact, actually, if I just search for this. No, we have display name in a lot of different places, though. Yeah, I'm hoping it can do this to all of these, but we'll have to see. Translate basic attack. This actually doesn't need to be translated because it's never shown anywhere. We probably shouldn't put translate on this then. We should just have it return a string. Right? Basic attack never shows. I don't know. Maybe it will. Whatever. Let's just keep it. All right. Like I said, I'm going to do this manually just a few times and then see if I can get the AI to do it. So let's do it one more time here. Yeah, the AI is already helping me. Yeah, not bad. And is this called Vampiric Bite? Sure hope it was. Yeah. Hi again. I just did something stupid in Git with reset hard. Reflog totally saved me. Nice. Nice. And hi again. Okay, so can I do this with all these? Is there a way to open every single one of these files? I guess I could, but I probably need to copy these out of here. Select all, copy. Okay, so we just search for this and then get that and then .cs and then delete this. So this should be all of the paths that we have. Why? That's more than 115. What? How's that? How are there so many of these here? Oh, because they show multiple times. Okay, so we just make them unique. All right, now we're getting somewhere. So then I think we put an S at the beginning and join all the lines and then run this mega command. It doesn't even want to paste. But it's only because of syntax highlighting. Okay, now we run that and it should open 1,000,000 tabs for me. Perfect. Yep, perfect. Okay, now we tell the AI. All right, what do I say? Can I include all open editors? Open editors, nice. Oh, the chat went away. You can't scroll this apparently. Okay, so using basic attack as an example, convert all of the other display name definitions to be functions called get display name that return a translated string. And then we just hit the vibe button. I don't know if this is going to work. It only is using 14 references. Shouldn't it be changing everything? How do you think about monetization? I now have a bunch of items in a Stripe store. Not sure how to monetize them. Curious about your thoughts. I'm not totally sure I know what you mean by a bunch of items. Like microtransactions? Items inside of a game? What is this doing right now? It says I can keep or undo, and it changed a file. It changed ability data? What? Oh God. It's done a terrible job. Hey, Dad walking. Yeah, our calico cat is a female. And yeah, it's very, very common for them to be females because apparently the coloration comes from the X chromosome. This didn't do anything like what I wanted. Agent mode would probably be better. All right, let's try that out. Can I copy my thing? What did I just do? What happened? Where'd my query go? Oh, here it is. Okay, so plus undo and continue, I guess. Agent. So now open editors. Basically, yeah, gold, silver, apples, pumpkins, you name it. I have like hundreds of items, but I'm not sure what the best way to monetize the user on those, or if I should just focus on monetizing cosmetics. Wait, for the farming game? I thought it was just supposed to be an example game for to spread the to spread the engine, and that your main monetization would be through people making games with your engine. But anyway, I think in a game where you can monetize practically every single item, I think one of the best things to do is just make a premium currency and then monetize the currency. Because that way, adding like 14 items to your cart is not a thing. You just add 1,400 of the currency to your cart. What is the task? I'm just trying to get it to do a bunch of mechanical stuff here. I'll show you in just a sec. Abilities, display name, definition, yeah. Okay, so here's the task. We have a display name, and this needs to be turned into a function that calls translate. And the name of the thing we're translating needs to match what's currently there. And we also need to we need to add an import. These tasks are not hard to do. I could do it 100 times and it'd be fast enough, but I just want to see, will the AI do a good enough job? If I'm building a game and trying to monetize, yeah, I would say then to just sell a premium currency. And also to then give some of that premium currency through the game for the especially good tasks. Use Claude Code CLI a lot, and it's scary good, not infallible. Yeah, I might trigger a premium request here and try it with a different model, because I don't know how long this is going to take or how good of a job it's going to do, but it needs to modify like 100 something files. It's doing something right now, it's just taking a long time. Instead of returning translate text, what about returning only text and having the inner function called translate? Is that meaningful? So we can't do that because the way that we extract strings from the code base is by searching for a call to translate and then a string literal within. So if we were to pass this to the parent class and then the parent class uses translate on the variable, it won't work. It feels weird for some reason. Why not just have one unified currency? What do I gain with a premium currency? In that you would want to buy the premium currency, but you probably wouldn't want to buy a non-premium currency. Like, I think it's essentially just a psychological trick to get your users to actually pay money. Because imagine playing a game like Diablo and you could just buy gold. You'd be like, I already get gold. Progress update. I've changed resonance. Okay, well, wow, it did it. Nice. This is exactly what I want. So now I just need to wait for it to burn down an entire forest to do all the rest of the changes for me. Oh my God. It's kind of sad that that's only like 20% a joke. All right, so it's presumably changing all of these things, right? Yeah, nice. It's doing a good job. And it's doing it now faster than I would be doing it probably. Although that's actually kind of questionable. Yeah. Every single one of these files should have +2 -1. So I'll just let it run. We're just talking to each other now. You know, this is really cool though, because you could have many of these things running at a time. Like, I'm not gonna do anything else right now because I need to take a break anyway. So I'll just chat with all of you. But if I did need to do something else and this was only, 5 minutes into my workday, yeah, I could just go start working on something else. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It's only done 11 files so far, and it has another like 90 to do. Continue to iterate. Continue. Supervising all of them gets very tedious. Well, in this case, all of the changes should be very, very straightforward. Like, I should be able to look at any one of these and see at a glance, like, did this do the right thing? Actually, I don't even need to look at a glance to do the right thing. If it builds, I can just go hover over all the ability names and it should be fine. But yeah, so far it has done this correctly. Where it's going to struggle is ones that I've already that I had a get display name call for. I don't know what it's going to do for those. It might break for those. I don't see any of them yet. But I think Fireball was one of them. No, it hasn't done Fireball yet. Translate that. Yeah, all of these are fine. Okay, yeah, nice. Good job, AI. Why is that red? It didn't add the using here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. AI made a mistake. Yeah, look, that one says +1 -1. It just didn't add the using for some reason. Well, we can just manually put it in. Yeah. Wouldn't it technically be better to ask the AI for a huge find and replace expression and do it all in one shot? Because you can do this with regex and capture groups, I guess. Well, there are some files that confound this pattern. Like, if it is just a string here, then yes, we could do it that way. But some of them might be a function call. And I don't actually know if the AI is going to do a good job of that. But I guess we'll find out. I can't think of everything. Yeah. One out of every 30 files has got to mess up. Why does it say +62 -29? Doesn't that mean it messed up somewhere else too? That's a little strange. Oh, resonance. Did it mess up that one? It did not. Oh, because I typed that in. So it's got a count of 2 off. Is that right? Yes, that is correct. Okay. Am I writing tests for the game? Not really, no. My general stance has been that writing tests for code that we don't know is going to stick around is not the best idea. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. That is not good. Yeah, every once in a while it doesn't change this correctly. Oh, no, it did there. Wait a second, what? It only said, what? It's reporting the diff as +1, -1, but, oh, and then it added it in again. Okay, interesting. So it does know to go back and modify the file. I'd like it to not keep talking to me. It's just wasting time doing that. Does one of these wrench things do that? Oh, I'm not going to click any of this stuff. Yes, continue to iterate. Okay. I wonder if I should close the files that is modified so it doesn't have them in the context anymore. I probably should. Although it was passed in as context, right? So it might look through all of them still. If it's not sick of me by then. The other thing that's kind of cool, I mean, I've been paying for this monthly, and I've been happy to pay for it for the autocomplete stuff. I rarely use this sort of thing with AI. But the nice thing is this is included in what I'm already paying for. And I could even use some premium requests. I think I get 200 per month of a higher model. Yeah, it's got to tell me its feelings that it's working through this eternal toil. Are you sleeping, cat? You might have been. It's only changed 40 files so far. Yeah, I think I probably should have done this in a smarter way. And easy for thinking. Yeah, but think of the precious microseconds it would save by not outputting them here. It's got to be like 10 microseconds. Probably cancel and say stop explaining everything, continue. Yeah, I could. Honestly, what I should be doing is getting this cat off of my lap and taking a break away from my computer. Although then it's just going to say, hey, I hit the limit again. Do you want me to keep working? And I'll be away from my computer and won't see it. +2, -2, and +1. Yeah, it's fixing that file. Although in player ability data, is it because it... Oh, nice. It knew to change this. That's pretty good. Yeah. Cool. It's going to need to do that in some other places too. Well, this is pretty neat. Okay, cat. Not for the break, but just for my legs. Could you please get up? Abby. Abby. You're so adorable. Here, come over here. You can still sit next to me. Okay, bye. How many things do you think will actually break by doing this? Just curious. And I don't trust AI by default. I think it'll break almost nothing. These are all very, very straightforward changes. Like, all I'm trying to get it to do is turn a string into a function that returns a call involving the original string. And I don't know if we have any examples of things that were a little harder for it to do. Wait a second. All of these included... Oh, I think it's operating on files I didn't give it to the context. Huh. Because I searched for all the files that contained a certain import. Has it modified any of those? Crush, disorient. Wait. What? How is this even here? I typed that, but... How did I find that list of files then? I thought I found it by searching for ones that only had a certain import. Oh, I searched for the ones that had an error, not the ones that had an import. Okay, I see. All right. No, yeah, we're just waiting around. It actually has not asked me if I wanted to keep going in a while. I wonder if you say yes to it a couple times, if it's like, okay, I'll stop asking you. It's about halfway done. I know this is boring. And by the way, this is only one part of removing all the source generator stuff. Every file that we have like this every single one of these classes needs to be turned into translate calls to these. And then we don't need them to be inside of a messages class anymore. And then we can delete some other things from the code at the same time. Although I suppose one of the easiest things to do would be to just put translate around these things and just say we're done. No, that's not true. It's not possible. Summarizing conversation history. I sure hope it doesn't spend a lot of time doing that. What are its other to-do items that it's trying to get through? Run build, fix remaining issues. If it weren't summarizing this, that would be great. Although it's probably reading through it and it's like, hey, I made a bunch of the same changes over and over and over. Summarized. Where did it summarize it? What? I don't know. That's the equivalent of a smoke break. It looks like it. Where did it even put the summarized history? It spent like a minute on summarizing. And it's like, okay, I'm done. So I remember back when I was working on Botland, maybe it was like 9 or 10 years ago, Facebook made some tool called Code Mod. Well, I guess maybe if I search for meta now. Is this what I'm thinking of? I don't know if it's that. Yeah, this thing. So my understanding is that this was a way of making changes like this to your whole code base that couldn't be very easily done with find and replace. And it's kind of interesting now that without needing to learn a tool or anything, I gave it just an English description and it's working through all these files. Now, granted, if I were having it do everything, I'd have it remove even these things. And that is what's going to happen next. And the old me would have just gone through every single file, and there are probably a ton of these things, and I would have just manually modified them all. Yeah, there are 145 results for those. I think every single one of those is going to change. It summarized it for itself, collapsing the content because its own output is used as its input. Wasting computer time. Because then you have to write it yourself and be faster, more deterministic. Yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting way of using tooling. You know, one of the things that I think AI does a great job at right now is telling you how to set up certain commands to combine with one another. Like if you said something like, give me a Linux command to find all, I don't know, text files in folder X containing some string, but not other string, and then capitalize the files or something like this. I don't know. This is just some random task I'm contriving for this, but it would do this. It would do a pretty good job at this, and it's verifiable. So when it's done, you could like test this on a folder with, whoop, what just happened? You could test this on a folder with 1 or 2 files, and when you see it's working, you're like, okay, it's probably gonna work for all of them now. Yeah, FFmpeg. Yep, exactly. I think there are a lot of cases like that where it helps out. The other thing, I had an issue with these speakers that I bought recently, and there was like a buzzing sound coming out of it, and I needed to buy an audio interface, but it like helped me find out what I need to buy, the cables I needed to buy. And yeah, I was doing a bad job at that myself beforehand. Distilling business requirements and providing context. Yeah, I think AI is, I think it's very interesting. And I think most of the time it's been helpful for me. But then again, I've been using it in very limited capacities. My hands webcam is not at the angle it used to be. Yeah, I had a friend staying here looking after Abby while we were on vacation, and he moved my monitor, and I'm not totally sure how he moved it, so I can't move it back to where it was. So I just got this like good enough. But this angle is pretty good, right? It might not be exactly the same that it was at, and I know the keyboard is like off the screen, but I guess if I align this on my desk, it looks like this. And yeah, it's like slightly rotated, I guess. Yeah, this is better. Yeah. Man, what time is it? Abby's, whoops. What did I just do? Okay. You definitely shouldn't touch the keyboard when you're doing this stuff. Command N does something, and it does something you don't expect it to do. And I strongly dislike that that's something different in this mode. I wanted to just type something. I hope I didn't mess anything up. What does that do? Command N. New chat editor. Undo edits. Undo this change. Oh no. Why? Why? All right. Well, if a couple files are messed up, that's my fault. Because, yeah, I probably accidentally undid something, and I don't know what I undid. I was just trying to make a new file. All right. Well, we're not going to touch this. Should we ever do grunt work sans working? What do you call what I'm doing right now? Stop touching it. I know. I'm going to stop touching it. I forgot what I was going to say. Hey, Adam, I'm what shot? Farm from lives because I get a new job. Far from lives? I'm still not totally sure what you're saying. How about this? Type it in Portuguese and I'll use Google Translate. He means live streams. Oh, okay. Like you haven't been to the stream because you got a new job? Well, congratulations. I actually haven't been streaming really because I was on vacation. And thank you, DR Tor, because I don't think I would have understood. Yeah, I was gone from October 22nd to October 31st. So for about a week and a half, I was just not streaming. But yeah, I've been back for the last 3 days, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And we've been making some good progress. We're working on localization. Whoa, hang on a second. Hang on. I'll be right back. Okay, she seems fine, but there was like a big crash in the other room, and I don't know what happened. She terrifies me sometimes. Let's the AI do that. Oops. I mean, do that. Feels pain when trying to explain something in English. Yeah. All right, fine. I'll give a point. I'll give a point for that. But only because DR didn't have any points. If they already had a point, I would not have given a point. But I'm a little bit more generous with people's first points because it doesn't do anything. All right, so anyway, this is going to work. While that's working, and I guess I might as well leave this on the side of the screen so I can still see when it wants me to continue. But yeah, we're doing this right now. Then we need to test this out, make sure every ability and perk has a display name, and then make sure xget text can find all of these display names. It takes like half an hour for 120 files. I think I wrote the prompt kind of stupidly, but yes, it is taking quite a long time. And don't forget, this 30 minutes started with me doing some stuff manually. So it hasn't been 30 minutes yet for the AI, but it has been a long time. I don't even know what points are. They're nothing really. It just means you were helpful in the stream at some point, and there's a leaderboard for them. And yeah, you can see how you compare to other people. Most people have 1 point. In fact, only this many people have more than one. But the number of people with more than, let's say, 5 is pretty slim. Yeah, that's got to be what, like 15 people maybe? wonder how many files is it modifying? I've converted most literal and messages based display names usage to new get display name function form. Mostly in generated or metaperk files are used to get display name parameter. I'll place the rest of these in a careful batch to avoid conversion mistakes. Method groups. What is it talking about? Oh, wow. That's not right. I mean, this is like the AI is doing what it thinks it should do here. But yeah, this needs to be replaced with, this is when I got the source generators. Does this technically work? Actually, I'm not sure how it is calling translate, so it probably would, but we would need these to be in the text files and they're not. Mitch. All right, how many more of these does it have to work through, I wonder? This one's red. Did it just modify this? No. I'll probably find these mistakes at some point. Yeah, I wonder if I should even have it keep working or if I should just do this because I think I'd be faster at this point. Although I don't know. It'd be nice if I could just do it alongside the AI. I already have all the tabs open, right? Can I just find a tab that hasn't been edited and go edit that? A 100 results? Seriously? Oh man. All right, fine. I'm just gonna start modifying these two then. Because otherwise this is gonna take forever. It's not even using the translate function anyway. Where's an example of one that actually worked? There it is. I wouldn't say the AI can work through it faster. And hey, Demon Wolf, it can work through it. It's just not going any faster. So this will be get display name, translate. Yeah, there we go. All right, but I gotta do that for all of these. And I'm gonna work from the bottom, I guess, assuming that it's working from the top. Oh, I messed that up, didn't I? No, I didn't mess that up. All right, get display name, translate. Increased appetite max level. Cool. Do some documentation or planning. I mean, I can just work alongside it. It should find these files and then realize that they were already changed. And that way this task will be done a little bit sooner. And also, for whatever reason, it's able to still do the autocomplete here. So I guess I can have multiple requests in flight at the same time. Oh, nice. In fact, actually, this is probably even faster. Just letting this thing suggest to me what it needs to be. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's keep working through it. More starting workers. Cool. Is that GitHub Copilot? Yeah. All right, how many more of these does it have? Probably a bunch. It's actually made it through a lot of these. I don't think it has 100 left, does it? If I click random ones here, a lot of these were already finished. Huh. 84 results. Okay. Translate. Translate split shot. Yeah. Why is this red? Oh, because there's no colon there. Are you planning to clean up? I can't read around Abby. Are you planning to clean up the messages private class too? Yeah. That's gonna all get deleted. Hi. Welcome back. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I push you away. You always come back. Hi. Heard you talking trash about it, wasting time summarizing and talking back to you. Oh, yeah. Continue to iterate. Good cat. Come, sit down, good cat. All right, it has modified quite a lot of these files. Yeah, unfortunately for these, it's not doing the translate stuff. So I got to fix those myself. In fact, maybe that's what I should be doing, is going through and fixing these. How do I get to the file? What does this button do? Run project? Shouldn't there be a go to file button? Huh. I mean, I could just type it in. Okay, so get display name. Berry heal? Yeah. Yeah, so it's going through these pretty quickly because it's not doing what I want it to do. Okay, good cat. Man. Well, as I mentioned earlier this week, I think each one of these steps has been going pretty smoothly. Like just figuring out what we needed to do, then starting to do it, coming up with a plan for this. I'm going to set up Weblate tomorrow. I think by the end of Friday, we should be in pretty decent shape here. Kitty wants head pats. Kitty does want head pats. You finally have time for your most important job. Oh my God, I took the best video of her yesterday. I don't know if I can show this. No, I try not to share videos of our place. But let me show you a picture of her face in the video. All right, here it is. Look at that content level cat. So I was just scratching her head and her ears. She's like, oh yeah, that's the stuff. I guess you keep pretty private. I try to keep some things private. And I try to respect my wife's privacy too. She doesn't want me sharing certain things, so I haven't. I'm a relatively transparent person in real life, and I don't think that translates all that well to Twitch. I've seen people do it and not have repercussions, I guess, but you never know. I mostly keep open as if someone really wants to find something, they will, and nothing will stop that. I don't know. I think a lot of things are pretty hard to figure out unless you share them. Like, sure, people could probably figure out, I don't know, like where you live or other random things that the government has information on you for, but no one's going to find out things like, not that this is too personal, but what's your favorite ice cream flavor? And there are some things that I haven't shared that most people would consider to be sort of equivalent to what's your favorite ice cream flavor, but that I don't or my wife doesn't. Well, geoguessing kind of showed that people can hunt you down with very little to go off of. And some of these people can do so in like 8 seconds. If you take a picture outside of your place, they'll be like, I know where that is. Actually, I guess that's not entirely true. With GeoGuessr, it tells you how far off you were every time. But in real life, you wouldn't know how far off you are. So if it's not a Google image search or something, you might not be able to find it all that easily. I guess you probably still could. I don't know. Anyway, how many more files does it have? Has it told me anytime recently? 194 results still? Is it printing 194 files here? How do I have that many things? Wow. Well, fine. So get display name. All right, we did one more for it. I love the name of your GitHub repo, Adams. Oh yeah, that was some inspired naming on my part. Want to get some chocolate ice cream sometime? I wonder what my favorite ice cream flavor is. I gotta say cinnamon is up there. It's very good. And cherry. Actually, pretty much all the fruity flavors. And cookie dough. It's got to start with C apparently. Yeah, so like this is not how this should have been done. And it doesn't know. Don't blame the AI. Oh, well, blame the AI for that one. Spicy cooking. Oh, was it modifying this file as I was modifying this file? Yeah, I think it was. Wait, did that mess up? Oh, there we go. Pistachio is goated. Wow. I'm not a huge fan of pistachio. And I can't even say I don't like nutty flavors. I like peanut butter. I like hazelnut. Something about pistachio. Since when is cinnamon an ice cream flavor? Oh man, you haven't lived until you've had cinnamon ice cream. My wife associates cinnamon with savory things, so she's not as big a fan. Oh, hey, it says 26 results now. I mean, these are all the ones that it's doing wrong, but whatever. It should be easy enough to fix. In fact, I could probably fix that with a regex. Or even just, yeah. I'll worry about that later, though. Okay, so I expected to churn through these pretty quickly. It's getting one done every maybe 8 seconds or 10 seconds. So it should take at most maybe 4 more minutes, I guess. And then I'm hoping it's just done at that point. And then I can clean up and fix everything. If I click keep, what happens? Interesting. Because I don't want to lose these changes just in case I mess something up. Wow, it's taking a long time just to apply the diffs. I wouldn't expect this to take a while. Seems like it's speeding up as it gets lower. There's just ice cream in the house. I eat the ice cream. My kids even know I'm no longer allowed to keep it in the house. Have your kids had those Flintstones push pops? I don't know. They're still Flintstones themed, but let me show you a picture. Oh, you've probably seen them. These things. You unlocked a core memory with that. Oh man, it's a cylinder of ice cream. All right, how many more of these does it have? It said 13 results, and it's done what, like 6 of them, 7 of them? See, this is what shocks me. It says search for display name and found 194 results. I don't think that's 194 files that are even listed there. And these aren't even, oh, I see. It's finding display name colon, but those have already been modified. Oh, so now it's probably completely finished, right? And now it's going through a pointless summary. I'm going to hit keep anyway. Is it done? I know this took a long time, and I know this isn't the whole task. But hey, what are you going to do? It's still summarizing. Oh, summarized. Thank you. Good job, AI. I think it's going to say something now about its next task because it had 5 tasks. I'll read the files that still use display name to determine the exact edits required. Search text 6 results. Oh, those shouldn't be changed. Oh, nice. It's not changing them. Uh-oh. Cat's very close to the keyboard. All right, cool. Now is it going to move on to the next step? Oh my God, it's still finding things. I'll update the files. It still uses display name. It doesn't need to update. Oh, it needs to update these actually. Command N. It's your favorite command, cat. It better modify this. It's getting to it soon. No, it's not. It tried spear command. It actually made a change here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. I didn't expect this to take this long. I thought it'd be done by now. I wonder if I should just cut it off at this point. I don't even know how to do that. What does this button do? View edits. How do you stop this? Oh, there it is. Cancel. Well, I do want to see, is it still, it's still making changes. And yeah, they're reasonable changes, I guess. How many more of these could it possibly have, though? Display name, colon. All right, so I want to search for space display name. Doesn't need to be modified. Okay, so taunt shields up. Wild shot, pierce armor. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of these left, maybe. Oh my god, and then like a million items. But I said only do this in abilities. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't modify those. And it's even modifying these ones now too, yeah. I'll fix the accidental typo. What? Typo? Godot. Was that me? Did it make a typo? I don't know how that came to be, but that's quite funny. All right, so dud perks need to change. I got to do that in a different way. Fix dud perks. Allow it to run build. No, I don't want it to do that. I don't want it to run any other tasks. I just want it to be done. Progress update. Files I modified. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, would you like me to run the build, continue searching, stop here? How do I respond to this? Do I actually type in the chat? 3? Oh, I can just not do anything. Okay. I got. All right, take care, Leap Your Girl. Have a good night. All right, so let's try running this myself now. Ideally, it builds 2 errors. Get display name was in all abilities. Because we used to try to get it from ability data. Now we don't need to do that. Okay, that's fine. The AI shouldn't have tried to fix that. And then this might have been my mistake. But we just need a using statement here. There we go. 2 nothings. Nothing, Mitch. I don't know what you're talking about. Just 2 nothings. The first one definitely wasn't the AI, by the way. The second one might have been me, because I was modifying some of the files, and I might have forgotten the using. So the game builds and runs, and presumably all of the... Yeah, all the display names probably look fine. So far, so good. I'm not going to look through every single one of them. What I want to do next is run this. So this should find a whole bunch of display names. Yeah. I wonder if there's some quick way to sanity check this. I guess let's just search for message ID. So here are all of them. Oops. One of them's blank. Oh, that's at the very top. And then what is this? Yeah, that's fine too, I guess. Yeah, so we have 90. Oh, right. Oh my God, because it didn't translate the other ones. Yeah, I gotta go fix that then. No, you're not giving me a hard time. It's fine. All right, so now we search for display name : messages. All of these should be wrong. And there are 97 of them. Yeah, so what all of these need to be changed to is a call to translate. And then something like basic attack, yeah. And then while we're at it, we then delete this and then any usings that are no longer needed. I'm going to close out of every other tab. There we go. Now what's the problem here? Cannot convert from string name to function string. Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I would need to make this change another 95 times. I want to see what it's like to do this semi-manually here. Like, would this know how to translate this? It's trying to add in a max level here. Yeah, it does a pretty decent job at this. And I just needed to have, where is it? Basic stun attack. Okay, so how I think we can speed this up a little bit is in each of these files, let's first make sure, are all of these abilities? They should be. Yeah, every single one's an ability. Good. So I want to open up each file like that. And then I want to add in the using statement in all of them. Is there a way to just replace in open editors? Here's search results, refresh, open new search, view as tree, collapse. There isn't. Oh, files to include. Oh, perfect. Oh, so let's just include all these files, right? And do you just put a space in between? I don't know, let's just do that. Oh, that didn't work. Do we need a comma? How do you... Yeah, you put a comma. Okay, so we just replace all these with commas. Then paste. Nice. Okay, 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 okay. We're getting it. Now we replace namespace with this. Wait, right? Hang on a second. No, I'm doing this wrong. I want, how do I do this? No, I'm doing this correctly, I think. Yeah. Well, let's just try it anyway. All right, so replace it with this. Why does it not look like it changed anything? Oh, good, it did. Okay, now we just click the button. Okay, cool. Now we just change the translate of all of these. And yeah, that should be easy enough. We'll close out of all these tabs again. So we search for this. This isn't working. Display name messages.get display name. Yeah, so I want to replace all of these with display name translate change me. Plays 94 occurrences across 92 files. What? That means that one of these files is represented multiple times? Where is that file? Ah, right there. That's a problem. So I want it to be capitalized then. Display name, capitalized. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and now we do the final step. Yeah, so I think this is smarter than just using AI for this. Yeah, so now what I can do is I can go into each of these and search for change me and change this to the thing that it actually needs to be and leave that to the AI to do. Yeah, so blessing of haste, boulder, cloak of shadows. Yeah, this is, oh, that time it added a max level. I don't want that. Good. I'm not even checking this. Fire barrage. Why is it putting in max level here? Was that already there? Oh my God, it might have been. In which case, maybe I'm deleting these things. Oh God. Oh God. I made a grave mistake. Was max level there for these? It wasn't for this. What's the default max level? What is that, 5? A cooldown? Default max level has to be like, uh-oh, it's 5. Wait, that doesn't make any sense though. Because I never changed this. And they're only 2 levels. Oh, I think I know what happened. Hey, who cares? How you doing? All right, well, let's just keep working through this. I will need to look over the diff. Basic attack. Lightning zaps, yeah. Okay. Quick strike. Rock throw. Shield bash. Okay. Spirit cat increased dodge. That's what this is called? Really? Huh. Yeah. Well, it's working pretty quickly. What an occasion. Russell. I see the whole Snark crew is here. Yeah, I'm just doing this mechanically now. As long as it doesn't do anything else. Whoops. Interesting. It doesn't change this unless I... Oh, it will change it if I do this. All right, so can't I have it select just the change me bit then? I want to get this to be even slightly faster. No, I don't think I can. All right. It's not Wednesday. Oh, it's Wednesday, not an occasion. And been a while, just doing good. I've been busy with a lot of things. Good things? I didn't realize you literally have that in your place. I think I need to either focus on heckling or... Oh, okay. I was wondering why you typed your original message. Because I thought you realized that this is something I explicitly typed out so that I would find all the places that I need to change very easily. By the way, this is like 1/3 of the process. The next third is going to be deleting all the source generator things. And then the final third is going to be all the strings that we just never even touched to begin with. I don't even know how we're going to find those. And this is why you should do this from the get-go with an application. Like, figure out your localization story. The reason it doesn't always make sense is because you might not stay with that app, and it takes slightly longer to write out a function call even than it does to just write out the string. But more importantly than that, it's not just writing out a function call. It's like you need to know what you're going to be doing when it comes to localization. So if I make another Godot game, it makes sense to do this stuff by default. All right, how many more of these do we have? 33. Okay, that's not actually too bad. We can probably get this done in a couple of minutes. Yeah. We're on the meta perks now. Yeah. Yep. That last one I want to go look at really fast. Was that what that was called? Start with town perks? No, it's called a leg up. Yeah, so some of these are just outright wrong. What time is it for me now? It's 3:33. Thought it was a pass out thing. I see. All right, talked about making a deployment pipeline using PHP. Finally completed it and created a trailer for it. I was busy completing Dark Souls 2. Nice. Okay, so good stuff. Yeah, my Monday didn't happen. I was feeling super tired, super hungry, like a zombie. Then the next day, fully fine. Literally ran on like 3 different times where I was like, yeah, it's Monday today. Man. Yeah. I think that happens more and more when an individual date doesn't mean anything. I feel like back when I was in school, I generally knew what date it was. And then at some point, it just kind of stopped mattering. And now I definitely have to look at the calendar to figure out what the date is. Sometimes even on obvious days, like it'll be Halloween. I'll say, oh, it's Halloween. Eggs, traction. So sometimes it's pulling in the wrong name. And I have not been looking closely at this. And I might never realize the change unless I go look through every single one of these. Like free treasure chests. Impulse buying. Hello again, cat. Instant loot. Lots of loot. Now I'm validating them, but I'm going to need to do this at the end anyway. Although I guess there might be an easy enough way to do this by searching through. Quick move menu. Always hungry. Seek food. Garbage time. Okay, we only have 2 left. This one's called Special Keys. And this one is called More Treasure Stands. Okay. Hey, Ragwolf. You mostly hate it? I think there are a couple ways you can use AI. One is very lightly with an autocomplete, and another is more heavily with some sort of interactivity or agentic AI. And with autocomplete, I've really liked it. Yeah, I was actually just gonna, I just did all 90 something of these now. I was just gonna scroll down and make sure all these match. I did for the last several, so I'll scroll back to here. Flimsy fish, harvesting efficiency, auto casting. Yeah, I figured I'd just look at them. Yeah, this is called battle ready, not random battle perks. This was me making the mistake by not verifying this earlier. Pre-built town. Probably could have the AI look through this and see which ones messed this up. Worker strike, stronger hires. It's only when the class name doesn't match the display name, which happens somewhat rarely. By the way, some of these things don't even exist anymore. Grant storage, greedy garbage slime, free guild supplies, farm crop value. I'm just making sure that this string matches this string at the bottom. So far, so good. And we have 52 more files to go through. So, yeah, we're getting there. Summon spirits, sturdiness, spirit command, solidity, snake spirit. This is going to drive everyone nuts. I know. I'm sorry. I know Irish John went through this same sort of thing with localization. I don't know what his struggles were, but I know that they were arduous. Because he was talking about them for a couple times when I rated him. Gravel, fungal spread, frenzy. In some sense, I feel like this is the way of game development. You read about all these mistakes other people make, and you're like, those aren't such big mistakes. I'll do things my own way. And I wasn't being flippant about it, but I figured I'd tackle this when I knew it would be a problem. Because we might have scrapped this game a while ago. Man, Abby's like wailing right now. I know she's hungry, but in her mind, it's 20 minutes before feeding time. And in actuality, it's like an hour and a half ahead of time. But I know cats don't know what daylight saving time is. Or how many more of these do you have? 14? Okay, that's not too bad. Rock throw, quick strike, quick shot, lightning zaps, ice blast, heal. Yeah, we're almost done with this. Fire barrage, fireball. 5 more of these. Empower spirit, crush, cloak of shadows, boulder, and the last one, blessing of haste. Perfect. Yeah, the 3-minute ads are so that it doesn't have to show pre-rolls to newcomers. A lot of time getting led astray. Yeah. She just knows that you care about DST, so she's abusing the system. What's kind of bad, so like Abby is basically our alarm clock at this point. And typically, at least before daylight saving time, she'd wake us at about 7 a.m. because 8 a.m. is her feeding time. And her other feeding time is 5 p.m. So then she starts getting meowy at like 4 p.m. Now it's back by an hour. So my current time is about 4 p.m. almost. So she started meowing an hour ago. Yeah. All right. So I've changed all of those. I guess there could be other issues here. So I got to regenerate these files, ignoring this though, which means just scrolling down, I guess. All right. I like to review this. I only removed the source generator from this file. I didn't remove it from anywhere else. And I've still got to do that. But yeah, we're going to look over all of these. Just make sure nothing went wrong. Actually, should I even bother doing this? I don't think this is probably helpful. Although there are some perks where maybe it got the wrong name. Is that even possible? No, I don't think so. I don't think this is worth looking through. I think the only place it's worth looking through is if max level ever got changed, deleted, added, any of that stuff. So I guess I just scroll through here and see if anything's different. Even just trying to find this is going to take forever, isn't it? I wonder what would happen if I didn't have the max level specified. Possibly something would go wrong. Yeah, I need to look for removal of max level. I wonder if there's an easy way to do that. Because yeah, I'd rather not scroll through every single one of these things. Even after this amount of scrolling, there's still a lot up there. Divine Reclamation has yellow squiggles. Is that because of just spacing? That's weird. Where'd it go in here? I don't even see it anymore. Where did it go? There it is. Yeah, it's no longer yellow. What have you done to us? This is all because of daylight saving time. It actually is all because of daylight saving time. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not reading through all this stuff. So how would we do this? Let's say we just run git diff. will it highlight? I don't care about any of these things. Will it highlight? Yeah, it knows whether or not you change this. Can I export this to a patch and then look at the patch and then search for max level in here? It'll work, but I would need to do this. And then I need to ignore all the lines that don't start with a minus or a plus. So basically all of these can be deleted. Actually, we can just consolidate all the ones that do have a minus or a plus. Put those there and put... Actually, I could just search for that, I guess. Put those there. Okay, that's a little confusing. Is this because we're now taking more space to do this? I guess if it's ever adding in a max level 1, I didn't type it. So it's just these. Did any of these change? Oh, man. Let's see. Ice Blast, Quick Shot, this, Divine Reclamation, Dying Blow. Let's see. Yeah, all these are fine. Yeah, okay. All right, I think we're good. Hey, Darth Maul. This is a thing that happened last year, too. I don't remember it being a problem last year, and I don't know why. Well, there were removals and additions, and all the additions had plus max level 1. I guess I could have looked at those to see more closely. Max level 1. Yeah, so I could just look at these really quickly, I guess. Zombie Legion, triple split. Wait, no, Oh, these will correspond to something. Okay, never mind. I'll also look through them. But yeah, so far so good. Yeah. Yep. They're all fine. Okay. Because I know which abilities should have a max level of 1, and those are all the abilities. So I think we're okay. So this is changing display name. Make display name. Oh, did I run this again? Make display name dynamic. It used to be statically set in base ability. Now it's a function that gets set so that changing the game language will update the displayed name. Oh, and it does it dynamically. So actually, if we just look at this and we look at the archer, it says wild shot. If I change the settings to Spanish, it now says Spanish shot. And I change it back to English, and it should say wild shot again. Yeah, perfect. Nice. So that's why we did that change. That's why we modified 192 files. Cool. And if we look at our Spanish file now. Ooh, this isn't right. This file. Yeah, this has all the ability names in here. Okay, so this gives us a slightly better idea of what our translation burden is. If we just search for message ID and then just get the string after it, and then do one of these and search for spaces, we have 217 words in this file, roughly. Because some of this counted weirdly and some of these aren't ability names. So yeah, ability names are about 200 something words. Also, ability names should be the easiest to translate. That's my guess. Like if you just type lightning into Google Translate, you'll probably get what would sound like an RPG ability name. That's my guess in any of the languages I want to use. But maybe that's not always true. All right, so that's fine. Then fixed dud perks. I think these all have, yeah, this has a display name that's passed in like this, but they're all used here. So these would all need to go. And what we have, dud perk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. It actually would be nice if these were all in one spot still. This doesn't need to be a partial class though. We could delete the partial and we could say internal static class, delete these things. delete the other stuff that should get deleted from there. Private const string. I don't think you can access these, right? I want to try this out. I gotta go feed Abby pretty soon. I've actually put in a good amount of work today, though. But I do kind of want to work a little bit longer. All right, so what's going on here? We can't get any of these things. I guess I have to do all of the gutting right now for this particular class. So can we access this? Messages dot dud perk one. No, you can't. This is internal. So I guess we have to make all of these. Can you make it protected? I guess we make this public and we make this protected. And now we can say dud perk one display name. Nice, yeah. Okay, that's what we want to do for all of these. This one's 2. This one's 3. This is 4. And this is 5. Good. And then all of these turn into translate calls. Translate. Oh, wait, this is going to have the same problem, though, right? And that these are not... No, this won't work. These need to be functions that return this. All right, you know what? I'm just going to make this easier for myself. Get display name. There. Yeah, forget about it. I don't care about what I was doing before this. Yeah. There. That's what I want. Dud perk 2. Dud perk 3. Dud perk 4. And 5. And then we put in the using statement that we need. Using static. Huh, doesn't find the right thing. Godot.translation server. And put this in all of these. And delete them all from here. And I guess at this point we could just put this back to what it was. Copy, change lines. And then put these back to what it was too. Did that work? No, it didn't work. And then source generator. Okay, so there should be no red in here anymore. Missing partial. Oh yeah, I forgot that. And now there's just one on this file. Why here? Type or namespace dud perk cannot be found. What? I typed something wrong? I don't know why this one file is red. What happens if I try building? Did do some work today, so I'm going to say that as a comfort something. It definitely does. So does the heckling. That's basically a job. Yeah, okay, building fixed it. I don't... Wait a second. Dud perks don't even exist in the game anymore. Oh, no. I forgot. That's back when twists were a thing, and then I got rid of twists. So I guess this will end up in the translation file for nothing. But we could use them in the future. The system's already been coded. Yeah, so fix dud perk display names. All right, so that's done. That's done. Yeah, remove source generators. That's the big one. So everywhere that we have partial class and then some kind of messages thing, so dot star message, which is 178 of these. Now let's search for this. Partial, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Partial class. And then remove all the unique or non-unique ones. What do we have here? this doesn't matter. Messages, money messages, sludge messages. And that's it. And how many of these do we have? 1. And how many of these do we have? 1. Okay. So in total, 178. And removing any single one of these is not so bad, but removing 178 of them is going to be pretty annoying. The ones that only have a single thing in here are already pretty much done. Like, if we were to replace this one right now, here's what we would do. Goodbye, and goodbye, and we're done. So, it can be as simple as that. But we got to do that for everything. And for this, it's got floating text here. So this is not hard to do. We would just change this to be translate stun. And now we can delete this too. And then again, delete these. Run .NET format to make sure we don't have any using statements. Where this is going to be more difficult is anything that's formatted, and we'll have lots of those like this. Because now this needs to change to return string.format. Oh, wait. Does it know how to do all that? Oh, it kind of does. Okay, maybe it won't be so bad. But still, I'll have to go through each one of these things, and then we should probably read every single parameter that we have in the game. Make sure they're all still good. Oh, and we got to remove the partial on all of these things too. I guess it's not as simple as I had. Right? This has no reason to be partial anymore. Yeah. So I guess search for public partial class. Search for public partial class and make sure it's still necessary. We could just find, replace all of them, and then fix the ones that produce errors. Hey, Sound of Gaming. I know, this isn't fun. But part of what is at least a little bit heartening for me is that this hasn't taken super long yet. The next thing we're going to do after this is going to be find every other string in the code base that needs to be translated. This would be annoying for all of the formatted strings. Should the number formatting be part of the translated string? Like the 0 dot whatever stuff? I think so, yeah. Wait, I'm not sure I answered that correctly. Let me go take a look at that. So something like this says we should show at most 1 decimal place. Regardless of the language, I think that should be true. So I think this should still be outside of localizing. But by putting this inside the C# string formatter, it will still follow what your locale does. So let's say we format it as a percentage. In the US, it would show like this. In, I think, Spain, it would show like this with a space. I think that's how they do it. I'm not actually positive. And in some other language, it might show as something like that. I don't know if any language does that, but it could. And that part, C# will handle for us. Have you ever considered changing those formal words like unnecessary to more fun versions? Like icky? Any icky using statements? That is not me. Not me at all. Yeah, so we're going to have to churn through all of these. This is the kind of thing that I think is good to do while you're watching someone else stream. So I probably shouldn't do this on stream and waste all of your time. But I really need to get going. Abby's been meowing at me pretty ardently for a little while now. So let me go find someone to raid. But yeah, I am very happy with the progress. All right, we are going to go raid. Hi, Cat. I was just talking about you. We are going to go raid a Spherephoria back. All right. Thank you all for watching. So tomorrow will just be a morning stream, and there's a potential obligation I need to tend to that might cause me to end the stream early. But yeah, sorry for the boring stream, although all the people who were super bored already left. See you later. Bye. Have a good night.